Hey guys, in this section we will look at how to make your web page more interactive, controlling the design of them using CSS. And we need to be aware of the fact that CSS allows you to create rules that specify how the content of an element should appear. For example, you can apply that the background of a page is green, is blue, like that, or all paragraphs should appear in gray using the Arial typeface, or that all level 1 headings should be in blue italic, and so on. Okay, so once you have learned how to write a CSS rule, learning CSS mostly involves learning the different properties you can use. Okay, so let us take a look at the structure of a CSS code. Okay, how does it appear? Okay, so here we have let us first look at CSS styling. Okay, so here we have CSS associates style rules with HTML elements. Okay, and that is a fact. Okay, so CSS works by associating rules with HTML elements. So CSS is it works with HTML. Okay, you cannot use CSS alone without HTML. Okay, so you need to first learn how to use HTML in order to use CSS. Okay, so these rules govern how the content of specified elements should be displayed. A CSS rule contains two parts: the selector and the declaration. So here we have a CSS rule. So here we have a selector. Okay, this is how we are going to be writing our CSS code. Okay, majorly if we are going to use, there are three types. We are going to look at them: the external styling, way of using CSS. Okay, we have external styling, we have inline styling, and we have internal styling. Okay, so here we are going to be, let us first look at the structure of the code. So here we have a selector. Before I go on, remember CSS is a styling sheet. Okay, so from this one, CSS, which means Cascading Style Sheet. So this language, it is a style sheet. Yeah, in fact, it is not a programming language. Some people take it as a programming language, but it is not a programming language. It is just a style sheet for styling. Okay, so here we have a selector. Let me not go that far. Okay, let me first course down the code. Okay, so here we have a selector. So it is written like this. Okay, we have the selector, this one, the first one, it is the selector. Okay, so we are going to take a look, and this one, the code, it is the declaration. So these ones, it also has two, this one has two parts. Okay, this one has two parts, and we are going to take a look at them. So this rule indicates that all the p tag elements should be shown in the Arial typeface. Okay, this one, font family Arial, which means that all the text on this paragraph, all the paragraphs will be shown using this font family, which is Arial. Okay, the Arial typeface. Okay, so these selectors, the selectors indicate which element that rule applies to, and the same rule can apply to more than one element if you separate the element's name with commas. We shall take a look at that when we want to use a different when we want to apply the same style to different elements. For example, here we can try to apply it to the headings. Okay, we can just separate this one, separate them with a comma. So for example, after this P, we can put a comma, then H1, another comma, H2, like that. Okay, so declarations indicate how the elements are referred to in the selector should be styled. Okay, so this one indicates how this element should be styled. Okay, these ones, the declarations, they indicate how the elements, okay, this one that we have referred to in the selector should be styled. So declarations are split into two parts: a property and a value. Okay, a property and a value, and are separated by a comma, by a colon, not comma. semicolon. Okay, this colon. This is the property. This one, the property, which is the font family, and the value, which is Arial. Okay, Arial. So okay, so let us take a look at them. So CSS properties affect how elements are displayed. Okay, the CSS declaration sit inside curly brackets, and each is made up of two parts, a property and a value. Okay, separated by a colon, and you can specify several properties in one declaration. So each separated by a semicolon. Okay, so for example here we can just separate them by a semicolon. These ones, the semicolons. So this is a declaration. This is the first declaration. This is the second declaration. But this one has a property of a font family. This one has a property of a color, and the value is yellow. And here the value for font family is Arial. Okay, so as you can see here, we have used multiple selectors. Okay, we have applied this styling, okay, to multiple selectors, to multiple part of the HTML, part of the element, to different elements. Okay, here we have H1, H2, H3. Okay, all these ones are going to inherit, to take the same styling. Okay, these ones. Okay, this rule indicates that all H1 tag, H2, and H3 elements should be shown in Arial typeface in a yellow color. Okay, so they are all going to be rendered in a yellow color. So properties indicates the aspects of the elements you want to change. For example, color, font, width, height, and border. So these ones, the property, they specify, okay, the characteristic of the element, okay, that you want to change on it. Remember, objects, these objects, they have characteristics. For example, color, the font family, they have even width, height, size. Okay, so these are the those are the properties, and the values specify the settings you want to use for the properties. Okay, for example, if you want to specify a color property, then the value is the color you want the text in these elements to be. Okay, okay, so that is it. We are going to take a look at the next. Okay.